had a really nice email from a listener in France who used to freelance in the UK but has moved back to France, and he's feeling a bit remote and out of the way. I think they said they feel trapped, but the value that they found in hearing Annie's story in the latest episode, and it's so nice. Like, most people don't reach out and say things when they enjoy something, myself included. So when I get emails like that, it's really special, and I passed that on to Annie as well, because when the guests kind of like open up about what they're going through, they feel a bit kind of vulnerable and unsure, I think, a lot of the time. And so it's nice to hear when somebody really resonates with what you're talking about and get something out of it and feel stronger because of what you've said. So yeah, really cool. Yeah, and if that person in France is watching, salut, très bien semaine. It's been a funny day today because I couldn't go for a run. I had to wait in for the guy to come and clean our oven. And then he took ages to clean the oven. So yeah, just got an hour before I got to pick up the kids. So just going for a bit of a walk to get some fresh air and some exercise. Finish off scripts in a coffee shop. Feels a bit like the calm before the storm today because I have about 8 videos to produce this week, and I'm waiting on animations for them. So I've been finding all of the video clips that I need to go into those videos, so that I've kind of got a head start on the editing process when it comes in. Not the most fun bit of what I do, but makes everything smoother, I think, so that we can actually get these done in time. It's Tuesday. Stayed up quite late last night, but made really good progress. It really paid off having laid out the live action, because I had an animation come through and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to see how that fits together, and I got a bit carried away. I wanted to see it through and get it finished. And then we've been doing a load of subtitling and have the final approved versions of those videos. It's like 10 different languages, so that's a lot to upload, so I left them uploading overnight. But yeah, feeling organised, on top of things, but also excited to see everything come together. 1:30, I've got a date with the accountant. Making a purple stew, ooh ooh woo woo. Making a purple stew, shooby dooby doo.
What are you gonna add to a purple stew?
Still churning through the videos, but always going well. Just mixing a load of audio at the moment. But what's cool is it has this bit here where I can loop it. So you can see I'm creating loops, and that means that every time that the video has quite a complex bit of something to understand, like because we're explaining a concept, Or when we've got people talking and I really want people to focus on what they're saying, I can strip back there just to... So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just slightly nervous. I've brought on one new animator, so there's 5 different animators working on it. One of them is new. I've learnt that I should never bring on more than one new person at a time, because new people take more of my focus, because obviously they need a higher level of my time in order to get to grips with what they're doing. But equally, I don't quite know how her work is gonna turn out. It's 3 o'clock on Thursday and I've got so much done, but I've kind of hit a stop. I'm now waiting on animations and there's not much more I can do. Now I've not got to pick the kids up because they're doing clubs mercifully after school. So I don't normally work on the vlog during the day because it feels like something I should do in the evening. But the chances are the animations will come in later and I'll end up working on them in the evening. So yeah, I'm going to work on the vlog even though it's the afternoon. Excellent, I feel good about that. I've just taken an hour or so and laid out the first rough edit of the vlog, and then I'll come back to it tonight and tighten it up and put music in and everything. And I've got half an hour before I have to go and pick up our daughter from her club, and I've just had a brilliant, you nailed it first time type of email from the client, so I'm just gonna mix out the proper high-res version of that video, and yeah, that's I feel very productive. I'll be honest, I'm kind of waiting for this week to go wrong. So it's Friday, and in theory I should be wrapping up all of the videos in time for half term today. It's not going to happen, but I have communicated that to the client. I gave him a call rather than an email. I think so long as you communicate properly and set expectations, it's not so bad. Also, you know, the intention was that I would be totally off for half term, but in reality, the kids wanted to do clubs on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I have time to mop up things which haven't been finished. So nobody's stressing and all is good. Does mean I've got time today though that I thought I would be mixing videos spare, so instead I'm going to start on the next load of script writing for the next phase of the project, which I would have been doing after half term, so gonna make a head start. I am so glad I went into town this afternoon. Like this morning, I was doing stuff, but I felt unproductive because what I was doing I didn't necessarily need to do. But I realised that because my wife had the day off today, I didn't need to pick the kids up, I didn't need to be at home when they came home, I didn't need to cook them dinner, all things I normally do. So I escaped at 2:30 and spent 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours in a coffee shop and wrote so many scripts. And now I'm walking home 5:30 and I feel like I've achieved something and that I've got a head start on the projects the other side of half term, so it's all good. So yeah, I know it would have been more interesting if more stuff had gone wrong, but I don't know, I feel like I'll tell you what I feel like. I feel like actually from having made plenty of mistakes and got stressed and all of that over the past year or so, maybe finally getting into my skull as to how best I work and how best to manage deadlines and workflows and people and myself, and that's why it's going okay. By the way, I just want to say, other than thank you so much for watching and all of your messages, I really appreciate them and I'm glad you're enjoying what's going on. The new episode of Being Freelance is with Matt Hill. First time we've had a podcast producer on, and it's a really interesting story, really nice guy, so please do take a listen wherever you get your podcasts or beingfreelance.com. But yes, half term awaits, and I'd say that not with a sense of dread. In fact, with a sense of excitement, I'm really looking forward to playing games and doing artwork and going for walks and all of those things that no doubt we'll be doing. Yeah, bring it on. And you have a great week being freelance.